What's up, Trios Tribe? Welcome to your your guys's first Eggman Events tournament report. We're literally in the first week, only week aftermath of the Apocalypse format. It literally, I think it's like a 1 week. It ends up being a 1 week format for the United States or NA, and then Latin America only got one of. I think every country only got one event out of this. And so it kind of ends up being what we think it was. Maybe Europe didn't get an event with BT15, everything at full power, no restrictions, but doesn't matter. We went into this, we knew Apocalypse was gonna stomp, and as you guys see, Apocalypse kind of stopped. It was kind of wild. I got to host the event with Digipanda running most, if not all, the production, and me just kind of sharing my lovable laughter and hijinks with the chat. Was fun. Trying to do more of that. Trying to push more to production work and commentary work for the Digimon scene. So I hope you guys saw it. Hope you guys watched it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if anything, if I'm too silly, if where the production could be better in some way. Just let us know. VOD's up on Digipanda's channel. Check him out. Yeah, this is obviously eggmanevents.com. Great source for everything. We're gonna try to be posting everything and anything. I actually helped this time around posting it. So a little bit of life, a little bit of stuff happening, but I helped put it together, and I feel proud of it. So. Yeah, so let's cut it in real quick. I'll try to do what Eggman does and kind of parse together key things about each deck. Maybe cover more of the NA one, since I had a hand in it more than I did the Latin America one. Let's cut over here. As you can see, funny enough, so we went into this, we knew Apocalypse was gonna win, but we also, with after in the East, we saw that Numon was actually won their national tournament. Anthony Winks ends up taking it with Numon, and our finals actually ended up being Joshua Stedner. As you can see, ended up getting 5th place because of how Swiss works. I think that's a little ridiculous. If your only loss is to the champion, I feel like that should be an automatic 2nd place. But whatever. I don't think the prizing ends up being too different. I should have prepared a slide with all the prizing, because the prizing looks sick for this Ultimate Cup. It's all the red hybrid cards, and I know red hybrid, there's some hate out there, but they look sick. I think they knock it out of the park with their Ultimate Cup tiered prizing in terms of prize cards. Always good. If they're value, I don't know, but they look beautiful. Anyway. Anthony Winks, Joshua Stedner in our finals, double Numon. We knew that we was crazy to see how strong Numon was against Apocalypse. It was wild. Throughout the whole event, we were like, wow, Numon's really taking it to the Apocalypse ones. And I think the only reason we didn't see more is because just more people were on the Apocalypse deck. That's it. I looking through, we didn't do a tally of the full field representation. It's a little harder in Digimon compared to One Piece, where One Piece you can just kind of label it under a leader. Everyone kind of has their own way to say Metal Garurumon, Melga, X, Blue Gabumon. The one deck people kind of just interpret in multiple different ways in terms of a name. Whereas in One Piece it can be like BT15 Purple Luffy. I know I got that wrong, but you get my point. But yeah, let's go into the some surprising outliers here. I always have faith in Melga. I think that's a really strong deck. It's getting hit for a reason. Lugon, every time it doesn't top surprises me, but I also get it. A lot of the with the new additions of the red stuff, we'll see. And red hybrid. So let's actually go into some of the decks. Let's go into the Numon deck. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that's good. We like that. Yeah, so it's just a collection of, this one deck feels like it's like a deck with 10 sets in the making. We have the BT11 Greymon, The BT15 Numon. We got, I think, the Monzemon X that just came out, which is honestly one of the kingpin cards. Like, this Monzemon actually allows for so much. Being able to Digivolve on top of both the Waru Monzemon and the Monzemon from RBO1, which I consider a myth card, because if you ever tried pulling from RBO1, it's not a thing. And then just taking advantage of Ukomon, Louis engine, Satsuki for your Numemon, Digipolice Numemon to give rush to something, and then plus having the extra memory is always good, and it actually goes with the Monzemons to give you jamming. So now you have a Monzemon to go on top of your security plus 1 Monzemons and then give them jamming reboot. It just works out a little too good. You know, we notice here from this is Anthony Winks's top list. Not really running a lot of top end other than the Numemon X, Platinum Numemon and the Death X-mon, and then opting here to play Sunomon Egg. And then Chikuri for, you know, security as their security bomb. Guru would hate facing into a Chikurimon, etc., etc. So it's interesting. It's interesting stuff to see. Christ. Chumon, Floodgate, Chikurimon, Floodgate, Apocalypse was irrelevant. One game against Anthony, we had it on stream. Check out the VOD again on Digipanda's channel. Anthony Wing, like, he just hard played 3 Chikurimons onto a Apocalypse, and I just laughed. That's all I could do. I felt so bad. It was just so funny to watch. And then we'll take a quick peek at Ernesto. No, this is the 10th place Numemon. This was the second, in my eyes, the second place Numemon. If you get it, you get it. I'm not explaining it again. But a lot of the same. Teched out a little more for teched out a little more for top end. Also opting for 4/4 of the Monzemon. So yeah, just a little less on the Satskis. I think what was interesting was that, spoilers. What was interesting about the list is, like, you know, they were playing more of a top end shine ruin mode, merciful mode to try to get better counter to Apocalypse. Venusmon for Guru, I imagine. As Guru is probably one of your tougher matchups if you see it. Shin Monzemon, just playing a more diverse top end, probably cutting. I can't, like, I have a hard time remembering all the Numemon stuff. Oh, notably not playing the Numemon Digipolice engine whatsoever, opting for, you know, higher top end, a Protoform. The Protoform actually comes in clutch for, like, you know, Monzemon if you don't have the bear himself. On top of that, the Numemon X. Numemon X is a powerful card. There's just certain cards here that I feel like everyone's going to be playing in the Numemon list. Let's see if they're playing. I think they're all playing the same Garemons. Yeah, they are. Yeah. But here the notable difference. Oh no, there was a different logic when it came to Sunomons. Maybe I ended up putting the wrong eggs, but there was a world where people were playing Pagu. Maybe this was it. I saw oftentimes it was the one of Pagumon versus Sunomon. This was like the 2 digi bubbles we would see all the time. Just, you know, Sunomon, you're not really attacking with this deck until you absolutely have to. So you're digivolving to the sides, summoning bodies to the side. So you're getting a good draw with the Sunomon, especially since you are hard playing and not necessarily digivolving. Your draw engines end up being the Garemon and the Sunomon. Wait, they are playing the. Oh my god, am I just. Oh man, I keep I got them in the wrong order, man. We're not editing that. We're gonna keep it in. So Joshua also has a little, still true, has the higher top end. It was actually Ernesto that was playing the Shin Monzemon and the Protoform, which I still think is a good card. Sorry, I got my tabs all mixed up. Heaven's Judgment. I mean, you're playing up to 1, 2, 3 different colors. So you get to minus 6 times, oh my god, 4. So 20k something on a single Digimon, but and like I was saying, the Monzemon X is just a mini Heaven's Judgment too. So except it's like a Spiral Masquerade Heaven's Judgment. It's weird. I don't know. Good stuff. Interesting to see that they are still playing the Numemons, opting not to play the other Garemon. Yeah, just little stuff like that. It's a deck that came out of nowhere, and it's a deck that probably will be the forerunner of the format going forward. So if you guys looking for a deck to pick up this. It'll be interesting to see how much of Nummon's success is based on how good Apocalypse was versus, you know, with Apocalypse gone, we'll see a different meta. We'll see, you know, different decks come in with that were just absolutely oppressed by Apocalypse. So we'll see what takes over after that. Could just be the Numon deck. It's powerful, it's strong, but you know, there's ways around it. So we'll see. And then we'll go into Apocalypse himself. A lot of, not so much there's a lot of little cool things. I was looking at all the lists. This is the second place list, and you know, Magnadramon is a staple, Metallic Dramon's a staple, Deathclaw is a staple, Analog Youth is a staple, Madashita. It's hard to talk about a deck that, you know, is pretty much going to be relatively gone for the most part. Crania a staple, the Gabu package playing Gabumon, or starter deck Gabumon, the original starter deck Gabumon, and then Garurumon X along with the starter deck Garurumon. Just like, and then we just kind of fill in the rest with, you know, different varying amounts of the Dark Masters. And then we've seen a lot of like spice when it comes to the top end of all this stuff, like all the sixes, I should say. Here you'll see, you know, Cranium 2. This was interesting. We saw this, I think, we went to 9 rounds, the 8th round, or we saw some of them playing the Garurumon, or one of them, and in particular we saw it on the VOD that spoilers, a Garurumon was about to go full combo even through, I think even under a it wasn't under a Magnadramon, but it was full combo, and they just got aced on their first attack and could not suspend their Digimon anymore. So this Garurumon came in clutch for that the Garurumon matchup. And then you see it here, you know, different rookie count, different adding. Sometimes they add the Elecmon to answer the floodgates that are a problem. You know, -1 Puppetmon here. This one was playing the original Piedmon from BT2, which is kind of interesting. And then we can go through, you know, there was a list that was running Gabumon X, running the Bonds Mat, Magnadramon, the original BT2 Magnadramon for some healing, which I think might have been a misread of the situation. I thought maybe, I mean, I wonder how many times for Cortez here this Magnadramon was clutch. Just healing 1 extra doesn't seem like it'd be too good, but I could be wrong. It's not like I tested the deck too much. And then like the Belphemon sleep mode, rage mode combo, just to like kind of trigger complete immunity for your Apocalypse, and then on top of that getting an extra source under. And we're going to see another list that really took advantage of like just getting as many sources as we can with that first set. And here's this list. Billy's lists, 8th place list was running the full Gate Guardian engine, as we're gonna call it for the for the video, playing the Raidenmon, Fujin, Raijin, Sujin. Just basically I believe the one is able to put all the others under, so then you just have an extra 4 sources or something, which is kind of nutty. Like, oh my god. Yeah, so if you manage to get all 4 in trash, you put the Raiden under, and then right here you get all that stuff, gain 1 memory for each card placed, and then, I mean, that's the on-play effect, so it doesn't go further than that, but Jesus, that's crazy. And the unfortunate part is they have to full commit to that. And then you don't really get the on. These are all just kind of free pitch cards for the most part, because they don't really go under Apocalypse. Normally it has to be rated. So interesting stuff. Sometimes we'll see the one of scatter mode, and then Lament of Friendship was a card I thought I would see a lot more of. I'm interested to see how good calling was for them. I know it's a good choking card. The idea of being able to, you know, delete your own Eismon, get back your Gabumon for Garurumon for another Garurumon X antibody turn could be interesting. Yeah, and then Analog Youth, it was interesting to see how Analog Youth was really mostly used as a discard engine with just picking up a Apocalypse basically every time you could. And then, you know, another key point, keep seeing sometimes they're running Gabumon X, sometimes they're not. And then it gets pretty samey, like little changes here and there. Opting for Miss Mary boost, I think that's interesting. Keep going, keep going. Do we see anything? Lament of Friendship, being able to re-pick up the same Apoclymon was very interesting to see, and I think it's something we're probably going to see Lament of Friendship get used more in the future, especially after the Nationals performance of from Security Control. And then we're going into my favorite deck. Kian and Evelyn both used Gabumon Blue Base, Gabumon X, Garurumon X, whatever you want to call it. My heart was broken when on screen we saw, you know, Evelyn go for it and then just get aced immediately. Like I had previewed to the deck list, so I'm sitting there mentally not trying to say it, but like waiting for that ace to happen, and I was just so sad when it happened. I was rooting for Garurumon the whole time and didn't get there. But let's look at Kian's list here. What I find as a Gabumon player myself, I found it really interesting to see the inclusions of the EX1 Gabumon and the EX1 Garurumon, just to allow you to play mats for free. They're no longer playing. A lot of the lists I saw were not, and something I've also done in my own gameplay is we've cut down the Cool Boys entirely. Protoform, I'm still on the old one, but maybe the new Protoform is pretty good on 2 memory boost. So just going for full, just like a really good full searching engine without Cool Boy himself. And then the top end, this I mean, the secret rare metal Garurumon is definitely a card I saw like being even I undervalued it, and seeing it in action, like it was just such a good card at all times. Evade is a powerful effect, especially when you're looking at a world where Apoclymon exists. You're looking at a world where mostly Apoclymon. But what was the other matchups we saw? Like, you know, there's just deletion effects and evade in blue, and then the fact that this is just a complete retrain from the starter deck one. And then on top of that, the warp effect. There's just so many good things about this card that I just didn't immediately value, even in my own deck building. And seeing it in action, yeah, like I had it at 1, maybe I do start going to 2. And then we saw some, you know, I think they're both trying to tech in the ace. Yeah, they're both trying to play 1 ace just to maybe for the mirror match, for who knows, maybe counter a tamer effect or something. Yeah, and then like we saw merciful mode. What was really interesting, the biggest thing to note, I feel like out of both lists, was Evelyn's list was running the BT1 Where Garurumon, the OG memory borrowers, where when attacking you would gain the 3 memory and then you have to give that memory back at the end of your turn, which sucks. Like that blows. That blows. But basically, if you're going for game anyway, like the original thought when this card even first came out was like, well, if you're gonna go for game anyway, the 3 memory doesn't matter. It's like the same effect as Gravity Crush, or the same idea as Gravity Crush, and we saw it be relevant. I think we saw it be relevant. And well, we didn't get to actually know. Going through the VOD, we didn't actually see it be too relevant. It was kind of like a game over situation anyway. But the idea is you're able to attack with this Where Garurumon and gain 3 memory, and it kind of guarantees you so much memory that you can even go into with some combos, you can even go into the more expensive secret rare metal Garurumon for 4 and keep turn and just keep blasting damage for the turn, and you know, get into your Omnimon X. Evelyn chose not to play the interesting fact is that Evelyn chose not to play the merciful mode. Didn't think they needed it. Didn't look like they needed it, especially with a 14th place placing. And yeah, same EX1 Garuru Gabu, just keeping it low, but if you have it, you have it, and you get to play Matt for free, which is busted. Matt is so good. Actually playing 2 of the Cool Boys. We saw Keen play the 2 memory boosts instead, opting for Cool Boy here. Just to help you pick up protoforms is probably the key indicator there. It'll be interesting to see where Garurumon goes after that. And then Lugon. I'm a Lugon stan. We got a single Hyun's we got a single topping list. Nothing too crazy personally as a Lugon enjoyer. Nothing really super stands out. What I found was interesting across multiple Lugon lists is the switch from Mist Memory Boost to Purple Memory Boost, and I think that's a very specific meta choice, mostly because you knew you were going to go into Apoclymon, so milling yourself wasn't the best idea, but you still kind of want that boost energy. And there is more value in trying to dig through your deck and picking out the card, because you know that so much of your deck's going to get milled anyway, that you want to make sure you have set up a hand that you want. And then playing the one Uber for, you know, this one Uber for Leviamon didn't really get to show up in the top tables too much, especially obviously in the final rankings, but you know, typical Lugon list after that, playing Psychmon instead of a dark animal, just to, you know, counter Apocalypse. You got to do it, you got to have it. And we are introducing the red Lugarmon, which is interesting. I think around this is just about, in terms of Digimon minus the Psychmons, because Psychmon's like a meta call. This is about the Digimon to Tamer ratio. This is pretty much where I kind of sit with Lugamon. If I hesitate to say if it's like a solved list or not. Just minor changes, like Helluga to 3 is very common. Bumping this up to 4 might be better, just as consistency 4s. Sometimes you struggle. Maybe you're looking at this and you're like 10 rookies is too little, so you're also on there, but it is what it is. Maybe like it's Lugamon. I wish Lugamon did better. I'm always shocked to not see more Lugamon representation, but it does kind of feel like you just lose to not having stuff sometimes, and it's just not a great feeling when you lose that way. So that's probably it. And then last 2 decks, top 16 for NA was Red Hybrid. I like watching Red Hybrid. I feel like Red Hybrid is a very I agree with people that it's a very high rolly deck, but it's also a very low rolly deck. I feel like Red Hybrid is at its best when the first 1 to 2 checks is a tamer, and you don't just flood out on your options here. Oftentimes, like, and I love from Dion Santos here that we're seeing you know, less of a commitment to that to the options. We'll see a lot of lists just full send it, 3 Gravity Crush, 4 Atomic Infernos, 2, like, you know, they'll just full send it on options. And that's so many times I will see a Red Hybrid player just break on options and just not play the game anymore. I think Red Hybrid is still lacking from the fact that they don't have, you know, more than 8 tamers. I remember when I was doing my own deck building back in the day for Blue Hybrid, 8 tamers just most of the time just felt too little, especially if you're not going for a Digivolve in the back strategy, which you kind of could with the Magna Garurumon stuff. Red Hybrid is definitely more about just sending it with rookies and seeing what happens. And on top of that, Red Hybrid is a list that is also, you know, Ukumon's really strong, but if you don't see Ukumon, you're essentially playing a BT12 deck without, you know, 3 or 4 sets of power creep if you don't see the Ukumon, so it just kind of makes it rough for you. But something interesting from both lists will include did I not click on both lists? Let's click on both lists. My bad. Matthew, that one. Yeah. As you can see, both more full sending it on the Atomic Inferno, cutting down on 4s, which always feels risky to me. Yeah, we're playing, this one's playing, yeah, we're playing all 12 4s, and then we're playing a little less in the other list. Yeah, the Garurumon Ice was an interesting include. You know, hand, you know, Blast Evo, when Digivolving, you may play 1 4-cost or lower red tamer from your hand without paying the play cost. All turns, when a tamer is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. You could just get somebody. Like Apocalypse has blocker all the time. They just have to make the misplay of attacking. But you also, you know, for 4 memory, you get to play this thing, delete an Apocalypse, and play a tamer. So for 4, you get to play a memory setter like Takuya. It's so memory efficient, and at a 1-of, it's so interesting to see. Or you just hard Digivolve it. For 3, play a 4-cost tamer for free. It's pretty good. I mean, memory efficiency, it's where we want to be as Red Hybrid, especially since we want to, you know, advance board, get rid of a block. Sometimes just getting rid of a blocker is nuts. But yeah, that's the NA list for the most part. Not to, again, Ukomon. We're interesting to see that we're not seeing any of the Blitz Emperor Greymon, but that's neither here or there. I'm not gonna convince people one way or the other. That's just what people played, and that's what did well. But let's go take a peek at the Latin America. Sorry, ads. Let's take a peek at the Latin America list where we saw Anubismon win, and I'm not gonna really go over all the lists. Oh, actually, a Balsamon too. So let's cover the best Beelzemon in the world, one Albus. See what they did. Looks like a very traditional Beelzemon list, playing 1X antibody for the good old starter deck Impmon when attacking, and then you get to do all the shenanigans. Yeah, wow. The fact that that's a combo will always kind of make me laugh. It's just good, man. Not playing. I know from personal takes. I know, not personal takes, but personal friendships and experience, people tell me that, you know, the BT10, the Cross Wars, Balmon is a really good card. Not seeing that here, but you know, different building methodologies. Full sending it on Deathslingers and Rivals Barrages, just maximum, and only 2 7th full clusters. Just making security scary is really important, and that's not just say Beelzemon has been a pretty solved list outside of a couple key changes. Maybe Impmons get shuffled around a little bit depending on you, and level 4s maybe, like, yeah, you kind of get what I'm getting at. There's a few key points where it changes, but for the most part you're all trying to do the same thing. And then the Shine Greymon, that did really well, got 11th place. With the new restriction at 1, it is what it is, but it's still a strong deck. Playing, interesting enough, playing the Agumon X antibody. This one is a dinosaur, so it ends up working with all the you know, the Marcus, Geo Gray, Rise Gray, Shine Gray line. 1 Death X, because 1 Death X should go in every deck in my opinion. And Shine Ruin Mode, just being able to just not steal games, but just kind of lock your opponent out of 2 turns from the raising. Kind of busted, kind of gross. Crimson Blaze, very important, and especially in a world where we knew, this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say, like, potentially Numon won't be the best deck next format with Apocalygon. It was just a really good meta decision to play into Apocalygon, because there are still things like Crimson Blaze that just completely Death X and Crimson Blaze just kind of completely take them out of the ballpark, right? And then on top of that, any kind of blue bouncing hurts them a lot, and just trickling down from there. It would be really interesting to see where the Numon list ends up because of decks like this that still exist. And Shine Greymon falls. If I were to make a tier list like Beelzemon, Shine Greymon, there's still decks that can just win a game, and if you can do it once, you win the round. And that's it. Like, that's all it takes. And I think that's where, like, the direction the game is going. Is just like a lot of decks just have win potential and will not care about what special BS your deck is doing, and we will still just win. But how consistent and blah blah blah, you get it. And then everyone, I'm sure everyone's really happy to see Greymon Classic Season 1 toolbox. I hate Hades Force. It should be at if it topped with 1, it needs to be banned. It's not good enough. Putting it at 1's clearly not good enough, stopping this deck from succeeding. Yeah, just normal stuff here. Like, it's interesting to see what they cooked up with the level 4s. Got the 1-of, gotta have it. Gatsumon is the floodgate. Can't play Digimon by effects. Pockly doesn't care, but Numon does. On top of Bloomlord, on top of what are your other weaknesses you're looking at? Oh, a Leviathan is spoopy. Things like that. And like some cleanup on the level 5s. I even as a Guru player, I think these promos are very underrated. I think there's a lot of value in them, and we'll continue to have them. Metal Greymon, this is the best one. Opting to play only the Tai Kamiya from BT12. You know, keeping from looking at it, we're not really trying to OTK. We're just trying to, like, play a Greymon that's able to adapt to the situation. A lot of options. Opting for more mem boosts than trainings, which is interesting. Maybe because you're doing a lot of your digivolving through X antibody plus, you know, Raid Wargray, so you'd rather have the memory than like a forced digivolution, if that makes sense. Which, you know, that tracks. I think that tracks. And then the Yuya Kuga for you know, option protection, just to keep your stack absolutely safe. No merciful mode. It is interesting to see that, like, a lot of these decks decks doing well that can run merciful mode aren't. Can I go back to the the Shine Gray not running merciful mode, Greymon not running merciful mode, And then the last list that is worth calling out is the winning list. How could I possibly save this for last? I'm a fool, I say. Yeah, this is it's Anubis. Everything seems to be right here. I think the biggest contention point is look, Lady Devimon, kind of different, kind of not necessarily always in Anubis long lists. I like that card in the minimal amount of testing and playing myself. I really like Lady Devi. Maycrack is here obviously for floodgate control, and the bottom end just kind of, you know, it's like pick your favorite floodgate, how many Goblimons versus Labramons you want in some kind of order. 4s are pretty solved. I think, you know, this at 3 or 4s, you know, like Ogre is always a 4. Saber, I think Sabermon is the bird is the best card in that deck. I'm exaggerating a little bit, leave me alone. And then playing the Win of Levi was just interesting. Just being able to, you know, on play it if you need it, get that aggression. You can just play it like Anubismon, and because you are Anubismon, I should say, and then you would refund 2 memory if you get the full effect. But it's curious to me how often you might get the full effect, and sometimes it's just a good Digivolution target if you can't find Anubis. Sometimes I see a lot of Mervamon players going into Mervamon and it feels kind of bad, but then, you know, going to Levimon might just feel that much better. 1 of Death X, because you should always just have 1 of Death X. And that's it. Nothing really much to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the you know, how long have I been rambling for? 30 minutes? Sheesh. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. That's the stuff. Eggmanevents.com. Please go there. Please, you know, support, push the scene forward. Me and DigiPanda, you know, put effort into this, and it was cool to see it pay off. So stay tuned for more stuff from us. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Follow everybody I talked about, please.